During this video, I will go over the reports found in the Staff Evaluations module within Curriculum Track. Not all staff members will have access to these reports because of the confidential nature of the information. To access this information, you will go to access the Staff Evaluations module, go to the App Picker, go to Staff Evaluations, and go to Reports. In these reports, if you are an admin or a reviewer, you'll have access to the teachers that are within your area that you are responsible for. So let's go ahead and go to reports. The first report is the status report. This is a handy report where you can look at your current school year and you can look to see the progress on those evaluations. Red signifying that it has not been started. They haven't done anything with it yet, whether it be the self-evaluation or the reviewers. It shows yellow as if it was started but not completed. And then green signifies that it has been submitted. And notice for those that are submitted, you can click on the link if you want to actually view it, to view it more. This one also I can click on to view as well. This one I can't because even though it's started, it's a self-evaluation. I can't click on those for that particular staff member. You can turn off the colors if you want to. So if you find that that's distracting, you can turn that off. But the colors are a real nice, quick way to see how we're doing in the current school year. You can also print this out if you wanted to, or save it as a PDF if you wanted for whatever reason as a file on your computer. The next report is the evaluation collection report. Very handy report, probably one of the most widely used one. It allows you to pull up a particular school year. You can choose any number of staff members. I'll grab these four and build a report for them. And what it does then is it shows me the first teacher. It shows me the domain and standard and how they did in the fall and the spring for both of those standards, as well as if there's a summative score. Doesn't look like I've done a summative assessment for this particular teacher yet, so that's why that summative score isn't showing. It also then would show me their comments that might be for the fall and the spring. So it basically shows me all the data, all the comments, everything for that teacher as it stands today. And then notice that it goes to the next teacher right here and so forth. Again, there is a print view at the top here that you can print these out if you wanted to, and makes a nice handy report for each of these. And notice there's a page break for each new staff member. The next report is the multiple assessments over time. This allows you to look at data for teachers and be able to look at that longitudinally over time. So in this case, I'm going to choose the list of standards I want to work on. And when you say longitudinally over time, what do we all want to look at? In this case, I'm going to be looking at these four. So that's last school year and this school year. So, and we did 2 evaluations each time. And I can again choose my staff members. We'll choose all 4 of these. And notice then it shows our standard. And then it shows how this teacher is doing on a particular standard longitudinally over time. Hopefully we're seeing some growth as we work left to right within these standards. But again, I have a separate report for each teacher and hopefully showing their progress. Again, can do a PDF print and it will do a page break for each of those so you can generate a nice report, sit down with the teacher and talk with them about for each of these standards how they are hopefully progressing as time goes on. The next report is the combined performance report. This allows us to look more at the school level how we're doing. So again, you could specify just maybe this year I want to see how we're doing, or maybe I'll take the last 2 years once again. And what it does then is I can say I want to look at all staff or just selected staff or maybe just certain groups. like maybe just elementary staff. I'm going to look at all of our staff collectively. And do we want to include our self-evaluate reflections or just the reviewer? I would like just the reviewer, or you could do both. And you could display the descriptions because maybe you look at 1.1 and I really don't know what that is. So if I click on that, it includes that. Makes it a little less clean, but it is nice to have that information there. And it shows then for 1.1, it's saying that all of our teachers that I selected, 6% of them exceed in this particular standard, 83% meet it, 11% partially meet it, and fortunately, none of our teachers currently are at a level 1 in this. And then it shows us an average score of all of our teachers for these terms for those 4 assessments, those 2 school years. And so I can look at this data and see areas where we as a school excel and maybe some areas that we want to work on. This one's a little bit weak, this one's a little bit weak, and so forth. So that's a really nice report where you can kind of very quickly give yourself as a school or as a department or as an individual building, kind of almost like a report card of how we're doing on those standards. So that concludes the reports we have today. This is certainly an area we see growing in the future, but we see these as the primary reports for schools to see or to take advantage of that data that they have on the staff evaluations module.